The Associated Press, otherwise known as AP, is a news agency that I depend on for a lot of unbiased reporting. Generally, they just stick to the facts, report on news accurately and neutrally or objectively, and don't take anyone's side in any particular story. That is until I saw this tweet and subsequent story that seemed kind of weird to me. So this went out on Twitter. Oops state, Cynthia Nixon campaign email misspells Ithaca. Why is this an AP news story? Now, I saw this go out in a couple other papers. So the New York Daily News covered it, New York Post covered it, and a couple local New York papers covered it as well. Now, the AP is based in New York, so maybe they have more of a reason to cover this story. But still, that shouldn't come into account when reporting or when deciding what stories should be covered. So let me read a little more about the story before I break it down even more. The Democrats' campaign repeatedly spelled the city Ithaca in Friday's email, which invited voters to an event with Nixon on Sunday in the upstate city. Nixon is challenging Governor Andrew Cuomo in this year's Democratic primary. A Cuomo campaign aide ridiculed the mistake, tweeting that while Nixon's Sex and the City character may have never left Manhattan, someone auditioning for governor should be able to hire better writers. Now, what is going on here? Is Ithaca, do people that live in Ithaca, are they really particular about the name of their city being spelled correctly? I mean, maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a huge thing, and if you spell it wrong, you've destroyed all credibility you had. I tend to think that what's actually in your platform, what you plan to do as a politician, I tend to think that that's a little more important than how you spell Ithaca. But maybe I'm crazy. Now, the Cynthia Nixon campaign responded to this mistake, and as tweeted out by journalist Shane Goldmacher, happening right now at the Cynthia Nixon campaign, per photo provided by Nixon's spokeswoman Laura Hitt after Gannett Albany story. And it's a picture of a Nixon campaign staffer repeatedly writing the word Ithaca properly a number of times on a whiteboard. Hilarious. Now, again, why is this covered? So I took a few screenshots today of stories that AP was covering in their politics section, just to give you an idea of the stories that AP generally sticks to. So here are some of the headlines. Can Trump pardon himself? Not if he's impeached. Justice side with Colorado baker on same-sex wedding cake. Trump Kim set to meet the morning of June 12th in Singapore. And feds, skimping can't save seniors from rising medical costs. So those are news stories that actually have some bearing on real people. But a Cynthia Nixon typo in an email that wasn't even written by her, I don't get it. Now, if this was under like the jokes heading, it was just one of their satirical stories. If AP had a satirical section, which I don't think they do, I don't know why they would. But if it was under that, I'd be like, okay, oh, that's just like a funny story they're covering. Oh, cute. But that's not how it was written. It was written like this was actually a big deal, that people care about how the word Ithaca is spelled. If you spell it wrong, that's the end of your campaign. This shouldn't have any bearing on what Cynthia Nixon's campaign is actually about. Now, if she had no plan for upstate New York, I could see that being a news story. Oh, look, Cynthia Nixon released her platform, and it only talks about New York City, talks about nothing else outside New York City. Then that would be a news story. And that would be more of an editorial and not even something that AP would cover. But this story, what is this? In the history of political campaigns, there has to have been a large number of typos in flyers, in campaign emails, in maybe even in ads. There has to have been a number of mistakes that were not covered by what are supposed to be neutral or objective news agencies like AP. But this one was covered. Now, my guess is that Andrew Cuomo, since he is so deeply tied to New York State, that one of his lackeys sent this out to a number of news agencies, and for some reason AP picked it up. But I don't know. I just thought AP had a better filter than this, than publishing a story like this and making a story out of what is seemingly nothing. So you take your own I don't know, own assumptions from this, why this was covered, what this means. Maybe you're from Ithaca and this is like a big deal to you. Maybe the fact that she spelled it wrong shows that Cynthia Nixon is so out of touch with regular people that forget her platform. Oh no, Medicare for all? No, what are you talking about? Legalizing marijuana? Forget it. You know what? Cynthia Nixon misspelled the word Ithaca, so I can't vote for her. Come on. So to me, this just shows that the machine, the establishment, is against Cynthia Nixon, because ultimately this typo doesn't matter. Hey, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon at patreon.com/therationalnational or therationalnational.com/join.